everybody, and warm welcome to my channel, Tarot by Izabela. I am very happy to see you here today, and I hope you're all doing great. Today's video will be the second part of Update Africa. And the first part, I did it last month, the end of October. And if you want to watch it, you can scroll down the video list and you will find it there. And in today's video, I'm going to look at the countries below the equator. And as I said in the first video, and there are more than 54, as up today, 54 sovereign countries in Africa. So there are a lot of countries there. And today we're going to look at, let's see which countries. We're going to take a look at Guinea Equatorial, Gabon, Congo, Republic of Congo, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Angola, Zambia. We have Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Namibia, Botswana, South Africa, Lesotho, and Swaziland, and we also have Madagascar and Mauritius. So there are a lot of countries here, and I cannot promise that all of those countries will come up in this video. I'm going to use this map in front of me, so in case I see something in a specific area, I can easier pinpoint out which country and where in that country. But as I said, I cannot promise that all of the countries will come up in this reading. I can only say what I see in the crystal ball and the cards. But let's hope that those countries that you are interested in will come up in this video. And time frames, as usual, difficult to predict on. When I see things very close to me or very strongly, it has a big possibility to come quite quickly in the time frame. Could be within days, weeks, even a couple of months. Some things may take longer time, 1 year or 2 years, but if I see them very clearly, they have a very big possibility to occur. Okay, so now let's start the reading for Update Africa Part 2. So first I need to concentrate for a few moments, and soon we start. Glasses on, and let's see if we can find something. Was interesting. In the the Democratic Republic of Congo. That was what my crystal ball wanted to say to me. I see lizard people. Yeah, lizards walking on 2 legs, like people. And there will be some revelations regarding lizard people from that country. Could be now when the veil is getting thinner and the reptilians and other creatures that are not beneficial for humans, their disguise devices are crumbling. So there could be a lot of report of lizard-like people from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Mm. And there are a lot of myths in many African countries about reptilian and lizard people. So more and more those myths will come alive again. Mhm. In Uganda, I see a big change in the government, and could be a new government or a coup d'etat, something like that, and something that will resemble a lot of what happened in Burkina Faso. Now the new leaders, because there will be a couple of them, will begin to take care of the corruption and the violence and the criminality in the country, making the life safer and better for the citizens, especially for the women and children. I see a lot of arrests, I see a lot of executions of rapists, of human traffickers, of murderers and mercenaries. So some big reform is coming for Uganda. And in most of those countries, Angola, South Africa, Botswana, Zambia, Namibia, and so on, I see a big heart, meaning that the love frequency for the country will rise, and people will begin to be more proud of the country, will begin to want to work hard to make the country a better place to live in. And that starts from the grassroots. And they will demand new governments, and new governments will rise in many of those countries. Governments that really works for the benefit of the people. As in many northern African countries, so it will also happen in the countries below the equator. Unions, countries will begin to work together to help their citizens create better lives, better job opportunities, make the economy of their countries grow, so people can stay in the countries and live good and comfortable lives. I see people dancing, I see people singing, I see people in colorful clothes celebrating the changes that are coming. The government on South Africa has been very weak for many years. They have not been able to take care of major problems in the country. I see man of color and a white man shaking hands, some kind of collaboration, some kind of union to help all the citizens in South Africa to better lives. The current government, I see that disappear. When, it's difficult to say when, but it's like getting thinner and thinner until it's invisible and gone. A new kind of order will come that will really take care of the citizens, will rise the minimum wages, will create a lot of affordable living for the people in South Africa. And a lot of the riches from South Africa will be invested in their own country, in their own citizens. Not mounted up, piled up in rich people's pockets. No way. And many African countries have had big problems with criminality, with violent crime, with abuse of all kinds of ways, in all kinds of ways. And when the changes in government comes, this kind of criminality and abuse will be hit on very hard, and there will be zero tolerance for that. In some central parts of Africa, could be Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, or Democratic Republic of Congo, where there are mountains, quite high mountains. It looks like they will find a new cave or something hidden inside of a mountain. Some extremely big discovery, very important discovery. They will shake everything about our history, and especially about African history. I see new rivers or new water formations emerge in Namibia and the Namibian desert. It's like from nowhere, river starts to flow or water starts to come up. And that will be a blessing for the people living in that area and also for all the wildlife. Many dry areas in Botswana, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Malawi. There are some dry areas there too. I see it's flourishing green. Like someone had a magical staff and swings it, and suddenly in a couple of weeks, dry areas are green and flourishing. That is very strange. In Mozambique, on the coast side, and also Madagascar on the coast side, where they have a big lighthouse. It's like they have lighthouse on the coast there, and a big lighthouse on the coast, on Mozambique's coast, and a big lighthouse on Madagascar's coast, like they're facing each other, even if the distance in the ocean is very big. But still, somewhere there, close to Nampula, or I don't know what's on the Madagascar coast. But anyway, they will announce some strange phenomena in the ocean, like a ghost ship or something that will rise from beneath the ocean. And they will warn ships that sail that something is going on there. And I see military jet flights and helicopters going around that area, investigating what is going on. And this is not something normal. It's not from this world, anyway. But it's not dangerous. And all those countries, the infrastructure will begin to evolve. I see railways, I see new roads, good roads. So goods and people can easily move around in their countries. So big investments for roads and infrastructure. And I also see a lot of letters and books. So school will also improve for the children, for the grown-ups. And there will be very big effort in all of those countries to make the people, all of their citizens, to make them be able to read, write and count. Because if you don't know how to read or count, it's almost like a handicap. You cannot defend yourself that easily. You cannot learn new stuff. You cannot grow as a person and as a country. So a lot of effort will be made to improve the schools and also make the young girls go longer to school, not be married away at an early age. And I see wildlife protection. And that will be very important for all of those countries to preserve the wildlife and hit down hard on all those poachers that kill wildlife for profit. And it will not be any excuse if it's someone that kills wildlife, if they are from their own country or they are foreigners that want to kill for fun. All of this will be very strictly forbidden and very high, harsh punishment. There will be no need to poach on wildlife, on species that are on the extinction list. Since the love for the countries would grow in people's heart and they will really want to protect their wildlife, the life of the animals they are proud of, part of their culture. A lot of new inventors would come up from those countries. And I see inventions of housing building safe and good houses for the people at a quite cheap rate, so the people can have roof over their heads and a good living standard of living. I seen some kind of volcano or some thermal activity on Madagascar. I see a volcano popping up. And since Mother Gaia is starting to breathe and live again, this kind of volcanic activity will begin on many places, even in Africa. Dormant volcanoes will be active again, but I don't see in a very destructive way. Could be that there'll be some smaller earthquakes, some lava, but not very destructive or very dangerous eruptions. That is very interesting. I don't know in which country, but they will find the remains of a dragon. Not a dinosaur, a dragon. And there are a lot of stories about dragons, many of those countries. But this one is a real dragon. Yeah. And I see diamonds, I see riches, I see gold, new findings in many countries. Zimbabwe, Botswana, Zambia, big findings. And as in the northern countries above the equator, that will be, those findings, those riches will be kept in the country for the people. It will not be allowed for foreign digging companies to come in and rob their riches. It will stay in those countries and it will make the citizens have better lives. Yeah. And I see creations of new passports and people holding their passports proudly and not wanting to leave their countries. Let's see if I can see something more. Cannot really see anything more here. So let's continue to the cards. those. Not that one to the cup. And some dice. This was blank. I need another. Okay, and the cards and dice, they look like this. Let's see what we got here. In the tarot cards, we have Queen of Swords, the Emperor, the Hangman, 5 of Coins, and 5 of Cups. On the Oracle cards, we have Journey, Betrayal, the Lovers, Bad Health, and Message. On the dice, we have a dog, filmmaking camera, able, and a bicycle, and laundry drying in the sun. And on the last dice, we have a big person looking down at a small person. The big companies, the corporations, the kings of the Western world have really betrayed a lot of those African countries. And they have a lot of documentation, they have documented it. And there are evidence how much they have stolen, during which time and from whom, for a long period of time. There is some documentation, and those records, some kind of secret records of their theft and betrayal, have been kept, and that will be revealed. They have traveled far from far just to be able to betray African people from many of those countries. And they have been looking down at the Africans. We have a big person looking down at a small person. And that will stop. I see the pride of the African people will return, so they will not allow to be looked down at again. They will not seek the Western world. They will not look at the Western world as something to admire. No, the contrary. They will admire their own strength, their own culture. And for a long time, the rest of the world have looked down on Africa and the African people. And that will come to an end. That will be buried. No more. We are all equal. And we have bad health and laundry drying in the air, and also poverty. And a lot of Western countries have also done a lot of experiments on African people through this and that medicine, having African people as guinea pigs to test their bad medicine on. And that dirty laundry will be taken out for everyone to see who has done it, why, and so on. And that will be outrageous. both for the citizens of the Western country, but especially for those in the African countries. And when the infrastructure will improve in many of those countries, people will be able to move around. There will be the new governments will help people with means of transportation, or if it's bicycles or trains or other kinds of ways to be able to move from one point A to point B. And that will also help the people to connect with each other easier. But a lot of dirty secrets, what the Western world had done in Africa, will come up to the open. And remember, the Western world bribed corrupt African leaders to suck their citizens dry, to continue poverty and bad health in many of those countries. And that is coming to an end. So corrupt leaders, African leaders, or whatever leaders, will be removed and buried once for all. Okay? Now, some last cards for this Update Africa Part 2. Some last cards. No, two, they want to come, so let's join them together. And we take one of these. One of these. And we take this one. And some dice. Well, the last cards, they look like this. Let's see what we got in the last cards. We have the World, King of Coins, Four of Coins, and Knight of Swords. On the Oracle cards, we have a letter, Cleansing Waters, Purification activates vibrant life force, and Self-Reliance. On the dice, we have a sign, like a crossroad sign with different directions, sweet, and a treasure chest with treasures. A lot of those countries, they are filled with treasures. Not only material treasures, but the treasures of the people, their cultures. And they are able to, all of those countries, to be self-reliant. They don't really need foreign help to rob from them. And when the treasures of their countries will stay in the country, it will be beneficial for the populations. A new start, a new beginning for almost all of those countries is on the way. And they're standing now in a crossroad. Shall we rely on the Western world, or shall we rely on our own strength and capability? And it will be like a new chapter for those countries, and it will be written everywhere, and they will make new contracts, not with those that have oppressed them, but a new start, new beginnings, new leaders that are cleaning up the country, they're purifying the country, and really wants to make their citizens live a sweet, happy, and good life. So there are big, big, big changes, and of course, a lot of Western countries will be very scared of it, because they don't want Africa self-reliant. They don't want African countries to stand on their own feet, because then they cannot rob them. So we are heading for a new era quite soon. And the changes are coming, and nobody can stop them. Well, that were my last words for this reading. Update Africa Part 2. And to all of you wonderful viewers out there, I want to thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we're gonna see each other for the next video. Bye bye.